here we come. On the left of your screen is the Tajikistan player. On the right is the Bahrain player. Both will use Barcelona.
Interesting choice in the sense of, yeah, well, realistically, in the sense of how this is going to be. It's now, as we said before, whenever we see two teams play against one another, it then lends itself to, well, who's got the better game plan?
Exactly.
Who's better at a player? Or more importantly, who's better at using what they have at their disposal?
There is one less excuse in this case.
Yes.
The team. You cannot blame it on the team.
In true football manager fashion, you cannot blame the team in this instance. But it'll be interesting to see how whether both teams set up in the exact same fashion. We can see a 4-3-3 here. To Stegen in goal, you've got Jordi Alba, Koundé, Raul Rojo, you've got Piqué, Kessie, De Jong and Pedri. We've seen those guys all too often. Rafinha gets a start here, though, preferred to Dembele. So
you asked for Rafinha.
Yeah, we talked about quick feet yesterday, and that can be used from the start as well. And again, having Dembele off the bench instead can also provide its own little challenges. But interestingly, Eric Garcia preferred in a back line there. Sergi Busquets is in play there, and Dembele's there. So a difference in lineups, a difference in setups maybe. But again, looking at it, obviously it's Barcelona versus Barcelona, but this will be the key. In terms of strategies, as you can see, they're a little bit more narrow on the left-hand side, but a deeper defensive line on the right-hand side. And if we've just seen what we've seen from Chad in relation to deep defensive lines, may not lend itself to be a great way of playing, but we will find out who is going with what side of the pitch here as we'll kick off as we're right and ready here.
With the champagne shirt, of course, the more defensive playbook is for Tajikistan. The regular Barcelona shirt, it's for Bahrain.
Yeah, it's left to right for Bahrain, right to left for Tajikistan, and we will look to try and see how this game plays out. Again, an early pause just there. Again, it's people just checking that their controller settings are correct. Again, it's something as a former player, again, I mentioned yesterday, you'd make sure this was done beforehand.
You get enraged.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. It's kind of one of those things where it's like. But again, the interesting bit is making sure that if you're coming off a console and you've got players playing with D-pad. We mentioned yesterday about the pros and cons of using a D-pad in a modern eFootball title. But that's why a lot of players look to use the left stick, as it were, because it gives you that better degree of movement. As we see Ferran Torres looking forward here, it's Lewandowski. It's cleared away. There is Pedri down the right-hand side to Rafinha, who just about gets the right side of Eric Garcia. There's trouble inbound here. It's a cut across. It's Lewandowski! And you can hear what it means to Bahrain. 1-0.
He kept out of his chair, you know?
Yeah, he very much did. If there was if there was live viewing from the big camera in the room, you would have seen how high he jumped. It was a fantastic kind of exploit. As we go back down the other side, equaliser! Tajikistan with the equaliser. 9 minutes gone, and this is proving to be fireworks.
And what do we say through yesterday and today?
We are always more vulnerable when we've scored, and that is proving to be the same.
The play after the score is the most difficult play to defend in this game, always.
Absolutely, this is gearing up to be something else.
And here it comes, Tajikistan once again for the counter-attack.
But unfortunately, it is snuffed out. Here is Rafinha to Lewandowski, back to Rafinha. Lewandowski has runners in the middle, but he's not using them yet. We've got Koundé, back to Pedri. Pedri to De Jong. De Jong back to Pedri. Just this patience that's coming through here. Rafinha, Lewandowski, that small change in tempo. And it's cleared away this time by Pedri, but it's not cleared away completely. It's back to Rafinha. In towards Lewandowski. Low shot. Good save from the keeper. Had to get down low.
Good save, good defense strategy. Risky, because it was like a game of three-card Monty with the attacking, trying to hide the ball. Where is the ball? You cannot see the ball.
Yeah, it reminded me of that very much so. Here is a corner potentially coming in here. Let's see what we're going to see. It's Pedri in towards Lewandowski. Good header in and a good save. Yeah, it's basically, it's magician. It's trickery. It's I will tell you where the ball is. I'll tell you where the ball is, and then I'll move it. Yeah. And that's exactly what's being done here. But
and it's like a game of chance, because it's almost like a penalty. You have to choose a side, and you may miss or you may pick it up.
Well, we spoke at players yesterday in the terms of choices and gambles that they have to make, and again, you can get caught one way or the other. Speaking of getting caught one way or the other, it's eventually recovered by Frank Kessie, is Pedri, in towards Rafinha, back to Lewandowski. He is always that danger man for any Barcelona team, and he's cleared away.
Tajikistan has the bus.
Yeah, well, what I would say is that Tajikistan's defence has actually been fairly solid.
Yes.
It's been fairly solid.
There's always one player more there.
Yeah, and they seem to just always have an answer. Here's Eric Garcia. And Bahrain looking to try and push the issue, but they're looking to be patient with that issue, which is, again, is always a play style we like to see. Here's Frankie de Jong. He eventually tries to get away from Kessie. Here is Bahrain's de Jong, if you're trying to keep score at home. Pedri to Rafinha. Here's Koundé. It's Jordi Alba. Looking to clear it away. Did he get the deflection? No, he didn't. It's a Bahrain throw. Quickly taken. Rafinha. Out wide to De Jong. In towards Lewandowski. Lewandowski's free in the box. Torres is going alone! Brilliant dummy out of his feet, and Ferran Torres will sweep that one home.
Once again, this is like one-on-one chances.
Yeah.
It's like you have to taunt and you have to punch or miss, punch or miss. In this case, the defense was outnumbered, and that's lethal, you know? Yeah. That's lethal.
It's the tiny details that will cost you goals within eFootball 2023, and that right there, that small dummy, I will love to come back and see that in the highlights. In terms of that little dummy, just was enough to allow the defender to just make that gamble, gone the other way and swept it away.
When we see that highlight, you will see that the last player on the attack side was alone, expecting for the ball. So the minute I saw that there was one defender less that they needed, we knew that if the attacker got the ball, he was going on goal.
Yeah, because you've either got to make a choice. You've either got to go and challenge the ball, or you've got to go and take, mark the player. And either one, you're caught in minds, especially if you're overloaded or if you've got a 2-on-1 situation. You've got to make a choice, and unfortunately, that one was the wrong one. It was a great bit of play though from Bahrain. As we're back in again, here is Pedri looking for Ferran Torres. It's cleared away. It's De Jong.
Bahrain has a very fast touching on the end of the pitch, which is very important.
It's first time passing is what we're seeing. It's in shapes as well. It's not random. It's very deliberate, as you would normally see, as you referenced yesterday.
Can we say it's 3/4 of the pitch?
Yeah.
Do you understand if I say that? 3/4 of the pitch?
Yeah.
Excuse my English.
No, it's fine.
I'm not used to speak this every day. I try to do my best. I love this game. I love learning from big time like Gueza. He's very, very, very good man to work with. I'm very happy to be here with you, Wes.
That's always a positive, and we've always got the games to go with it as well, which is great.
Of course.
And this one, again, just the right side of being intriguing for us here, as we see Tajikistan just trying to get the ball back under their spell, but ball runs out of play.
That was a mistake.
And I know it is a sporting cliche as well as it was a cliche from us yesterday, but the next goal is vital. The next goal is vital to the survival in this game. As you see, beautifully lofted in through ball there. Eric Garcia gets the better of Robert Lewandowski, and that's where we talk about having strength. That's the key to potentially having Garcia in your back line as opposed to having somebody else, is that he's physical, can get in front of the likes of Lewandowski. You have to find a way to nullify.
That's a ball that you don't have to lose.
No,
so it's very risky.
Yeah.
The middle, if you see the middle, is all dark shirts in the middle.
Yeah, and we talk about the precious, the way of the ball. We talked about the stats before the game, the average stats. You'll see here, Bahrain again, 59% possession after 45 minutes. So you can see that the ball is relatively with them. However, there is always going to be that threat from Tajikistan. So again, one shot, one on target. It's that word again, efficiency. Might not necessarily get all the chances he needs. He may only need one. And as you've said before, it's one misstep and you're toast.
But the thing is, will they be able to resist all this Bahrain gunpowder?
That is the $1 million question, or in this case, the $25,000 question, as it appears to be, as Koundé looks to lead that one away. But again, in this situation, if you're Bahrain, you need the third goal. You do need it. And as we keep hearing the celebrations, will get more and more animated as time goes on, as Frenkie de Jong looks to regain it and control it in midfield. Here's Pedri. Pedri to de Jong.
That X button is, you know, it's on fire.
It very much is. Memphis Depay has been substituted on as well. An interesting choice there. As Pedri comes through here, is Torres. Looks for the long ball down the left. Ansu Fati just not going to be quite equal to it. So again, both players made changes at halftime, just small personnel changes. But again, if you're looking at Memphis Depay, as we've seen, you know, internationally at the moment right now, again, very potent striker to have in that kind of role, as we'll see here, is Depay through to Lewandowski. Depay has carried on his run in the middle. PK's coming across to charge that one down. It's Frenkie de Jong.
What I'm seeing is individual challenges here. It's always one against one, one against one. More than a tactical point, it's like one-on-one challenges.
Yeah, you're not seeing hunting in packs because, again, the way that the pressure works within eFootball, if you press the teammate button, they are basically running with you for like a certain period. So I think it's normally like 4 or 5 seconds. The issue with it, of course, is that they follow the ball around the pitch. So if you've gone to try and press, you leave a massive hole in behind, and that can be, again, can be very problematic. Here's Koundé down the right-hand side here, into the box, looking for the header of Lewandowski. It's only as far as cleared away, but he is finally scrambled clear by Pedri. Is Lewandowski, has players in support. Is that one of those cheap fouls that, as an Englishman, you're all too easy to see when you're seeing domestically. You see those easy fouls that then allow your team to reset. And as you see, ball goes forward, but there's no real target there. That's more a ball in behind. It's not a targeted ball, if that makes sense.
You know, when we see the Tajikistan player, I see a tactical player, but sometimes he loses his temper and he goes like all in, and you cannot go all in this kind of game.
Well, as you said in the first game when we were commentating over Chad versus Trinidad and Tobago, there is another game to go here. There's still time here. There's no rush in that sense. And as we pointed out yesterday, you know, my secret weapon that I would suggest to anybody is try and keep as cool as you can. I know you can get heated, but stick to your game plan. If you're Tajikistan, you only know you've got to get one break and you've got to get one opportunity. And it's just dependent on whether you can take the right chance at the right time. Here is Lewandowski. He has players in support. One of them is Ferran Torres. Torres.
I can't agree more.
Hurdled the tackle. Torres into the box, looking for the header of Pedri. He's never going to beat it against PK.
But, you know, this crossing ball was something that we didn't see much in the tournament.
We haven't, no. And if we have, it's always gone against... It's always not gone to the taller players. It's always gone to like a smaller player.
Yes.
It's almost like the opposite game plan that you would have if you had tall strikers.
This was more like a homemade kind of play.
Yeah, it's something you would try at home.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, or my saying is it's hope rather than expectation. Speaking of expectation, Bahrain's still trying to make that third goal. But again, they've got to be careful. They've got to be careful.
See, but this... I like this style of play because it reminds me of home tournaments, you know, these long Saturday nights with friends.
Well, here come the changes. Now, interestingly, Rafinha has come off for, I believe that is Bahrain on the left-hand side. Rafinha's come off, Ansu Fati has come on. Let's have a look at what Tajikistan are looking at here. Gavi on for Pedri. Again, it's almost a like-for-like substitution when you think of those two players. But... additionally, there are changes now. We've always spoken about the golden period of time, and it's just after that, but there's still enough time for an opportunity here. And the way the Bahrain are playing, they want the additional goal, but you've got to be careful of this counter-attack. Here's Gerard Piqué, big header. Ansu Fati can't get it through.
That ball was very important.
Yeah, it was a very, very important. It's a very important challenge. It was Jordi Alba.
As we said earlier, we sworn secrecy. But I take tips from players.
Absolutely.
And one of the players told me today that when he hears the commentator say the audience in the game, he knows that it's exact 20 more minutes to go. So he knows that that's the moment to do some things in the game.
Yep.
That is now or never.
Yeah. And also, of course, don't forget, if you're wondering at home whether the players can hear us, they absolutely cannot. So all they can hear is the game noise or the in-game commentators if they have suggested that on their settings. But kind of probably a good idea because, of course, they probably hear our analysis and go, oh, that's what we need to do. But it's very easy from our stance to be sat here.
But if someone can understand what I'm saying, it's a double point for him.
Double points. Yeah. Here is De Jong, Depay, Lewandowski, back heels all around here as Lewandowski finds Memphis Depay. Good save, rebound!
And that's a goal for Bahrain.
It's a goal for Bahrain. It's a goal for Barcelona. And it is a goal for that man, Pedri. He didn't score that many yesterday, but he was well worth that goal there. Here's Ansu Fati, though. Tajikistan trying to answer back with a plum. Unfortunately, they will not find the back of the net here. And as we saw the kiss of the badge from the Bahrain representative and the thump of the chest, again, we talk about how prideful or how full of pride that some of these players are. None more so than the representative from Bahrain. There's Depay, and there is the final whistle. So that is game number 1
Game
in
number
the books.
1, it goes 3-1. So Tajikistan came back after the first goal very fast, making the equalizer very fast. But after that, the Bahrain game, here we have the player. Look at his smile. Congratulations, my friend. So this was game 1. We are going to game 2, of course. What do you think that may happen? If you were the Tajikistan player, what will you do, having seen what we've seen?
Given the status of the group, given the status of the game, you have to go for it. And I'm not normally a guy that will sit here and go, all out attack everybody. You've got to put it on the toes of Bahrain here. You've got to go and, as we said, early goal, set the tone of the game, go and get a goal and disrupt him. Because at the moment, as we talk about the intangibles, if I had a player jumping up and down next to me, it rattles you because you just go, it's like you've just lit the fuse to a firework and you've gone, right, well, that's going to go off in a minute. That's what's happening here. What then needs to happen, though, there needs to be a reaction. We keep talking about this. We spoke about it before with the Chad game. There has to be a reaction to what has happened. You can't just sit there and try and do the same thing.
Yeah, but it's difficult because you have in front of you a guy with a lot of power, a lot of intensity, and you come, at least what we see, with a very detailed game plan. You come with a defensive game plan. You come with a solid thing, which needs time.
Yeah,
but
it does.
What happens if the other guy comes with a tank?
Yeah,
that's difficult to have a time.
Yeah, it's what do you do? Because at this point in time, Tajikistan need the result. Bahrain are in the box seat or the driver's seat here. You need this result to get through to the elimination stage. So you have to go for it. Yes. You have to kind of cast aside your plan A and go, right, in my playbook, where am I going? What game plan am I dishing out here? You've got to go for something where you go, well, the chips are down and I've got my back up against the proverbial or virtual wall, as it is in this case. I need to just go for it. And that's what we need to see from Tajikistan. I'm sure that we will because, again, we looked at the goal that was conceded by Bahrain and it was just after a goal had been scored, but you could see the play style that was there. So there is something there. It's just put it all together and get it all going.
I think that when you have a so brain style of playing like Tajikistan has, you need to make each of the plays finish as you need, because what happens is, if not, he loses control.
Yeah,
is what we saw.
Yeah.
So he starts coming from a chess style of play to
You can't go from kind of ice cold to red hot.
Exactly.
You need to gradually do that. You can't just go. You're going to try
and
empty everything out.
From Master League to Tekken 7. That's not something.
Yeah, it's not something you can do, of course.
No.
But in this case, there needs to be something gradual. There needs to be, okay, my defensive line was too deep. My midfield was too deep. Give my attackers some support. Maybe change shape. Maybe look at the different players that you have at your disposal. We keep talking about this in terms of, as we said, here, because we're watching a Barcelona v Barcelona, it's who's got the better out of the tools they have. And at the moment, it's Bahrain, because they are passing more efficiently. They are making combination plays. They are passing in shapes. and they're able to impose their game plan. Tajikistan need to be able to impose their one instead now.
So here we are live from Bali, Indonesia. Yes, you heard well. We are having this enormous esports competition in one of the most beautiful places in Earth. So this is a good moment to see what happened in this game that we were commenting with the 3-1 from Bahrain to Tajikistan.
Yeah, you can see, we said the lion's share of possession went to Bahrain, 64% possession. Again, only one shot and one on target for Tajikistan, and that was the one that ended in a goal.
It's so 100% effectivity.
I mean, if you're taking a positive, it's 100% accuracy in terms of shots, but in terms of passes, you'll see there, 220 to 97. You can see who's taking care of the ball and who isn't.
Exactly. Okay, yes, everything is ready here. It's 3-1 from Bahrain, and we are ready for the next match. Thank you very much. We're having a very nice lemonade for us here, enjoying this beautiful place, this beautiful beach, this beautiful country called Indonesia. Thank you very much for your hospitality. All of our friends of the technical side make you watch. I enjoy this tournament so much.
Just a quick one. Do you want to change your prediction after that?
Of course not. Of course not.
Wants to stay true to it.
No, I say true. I say true. I think he can make a difference if he changes a little bit his game plan.
Yeah, it's only slight adjustments. It's not go and play as we saw with some players yesterday. Completely change your formation, completely change the way that you're playing. We saw players playing 5 at the back when it was something that we didn't see in the first game. You can just make subtle differences, and again, exactly. As we alluded to there, you alluded to about the 100% shot accuracy. That will bode well if that means that every chance he gets, he scores, because that means then he only needs to make 2 chances and he's back level. But given where we are in terms of the group, because these two are both level on points and it's for second place, he's going to need 3, or he's going to need at least at least 3 goal swing.
Yes.
So that's going to be entertaining to see whether they can pull that off.
It's not easy.
It's not easy
of his game style. I think that this is more like a 2-0 kind of player, 1-0 kind of player. But that's why it surprised me to get 3 goals on your own goal. That's a little bit too much. But we will see how this happened. What do you think? We are reading your comments. You can comment, you can of course subscribe, you can follow the 6 games of this tournament, but please stay with us because we have the most beautiful of them all, which is called eFootball 2023. I want to say hello to all of the people who are at the more or less middle of the night in Europe, right?
Yeah, well, 8 hours.
Yeah, more
I'm
or
just
less.
trying to do maths now.
I think
it's middle of. Yeah.
We don't know what time this is right now.
Such is as we say, and we were talking about this strangely enough in terms of time differences. Obviously we've had flights to get here, etc. But so have some of these players, and some of these players have come in longer distances than what we have.
Of course.
And again, you talk about. We talk about fatigue, and we spoke to Jose from Spain about fatigue, and
in
he said
Spain
it wasn't.
It's 8:43 in the morning, so people are having breakfast watching us.
So we spoke to Jose, and the main point there is that it wasn't just physical fatigue; it's mental fatigue as well. So you have a difference to go here, and I'm hoping from what we've seen here that Tajikistan can pull this back, because as much as I've made the prediction for Bahrain, I'm also a fan of underdogs at heart, and I'd really like to see just a little bit more of a challenge there.
So it's Sunday morning in Europe. People are waking up. If you are one of those who has just waken up and you have like a cup of coffee, it's very cold in Europe. It's very hot here, thankfully. So hello to all of you. People at Africa, I was chatting with people from Africa watching the stream. Hello, nice to have you here. Of course, people from wonderful Asia, you are welcome. You have our own time schedule. So
yeah, they're okay. They know what time it is here. They're fine.
Yeah, they don't need that.
They don't need that.
They don't need
the
my
time.
clock.
They don't need the. We might maybe get like the 4 o'clocks like below us on the screen. Maybe I don't know.
I would like to have that. So let us know where you're watching this stream from. Who are you rooting for? By now, perhaps someone will start having candidates for the tournament because we had already a very long day yesterday. We have some standings in the group. So we cannot be right now say this guy is going to win the tournament. But you start to see trends. You start to see which teams are the ones that get most repeatedly used, which teams are the ones that get repeatedly the victories. So by now, I would say Real Madrid and Manchester United are beating more Bayern Munich.
Oh, sorry, you mean Barcelona? You mean? Yes.
What did I say?
Don't want to know. You might have offended Barcelona fans at that point. But I take your point. I take your point is that, yes, you are quite right. In terms of the Man Uniteds and the Barcelonas, they're certainly quietly outdoing the Bayern Munich. The thing for me, when we talk about contenders and we talk about candidates for potentially going on and winning the tournament, is we haven't seen some of the heavy hitters yet. As in terms of the schedules we have, of course, we love watching all of these games, to be perfectly honest with you, but there are some teams that we have seen in the group stages, for example, when we saw teams that have performed very well. We haven't seen the likes of Wales yet, for example. We haven't seen players that are kind of sleeper, as we said, sleeper teams or sleeper hits that you wouldn't quite expect. But there are certainly some good teams here that we haven't seen yet. So as much as we've got all of the action for you on stream, I'm also very interested to see what's happened off stream too.
Yes, of course. And we're trying to know everything to come and bring it to you. We're talking no secrets.
No secrets.
For me, because I like when I watch an esports competition, I like to be there with the streamers. So we are here just because of you. If you are not watching, we are not here.
Exactly.
So thank you very much for bringing me to Bali, my friend, that watches this stream. One thing that I was told today, but one of the players was that a difference between when he plays at home and this kind of tournaments. He said, here we have a lot of screens. In order to have a lot of screens and in order to be able to stream the game, you need something, I don't want to be too geeky, but you need like
I think it's referred to as
it's
like a splitter. Like a capture.
I usually use a splitter to steal the cable TV from my neighbor, but this is another kind of splitter, you know. And he said that because of that, he has a small delay, and that's different to what he does at home.
Well, there's no delay. There's no delay here because it has already kicked off here. We are going left to right with Tajikistan, right to left with Bahrain.
Tajikistan in the dark shirt now.
They are indeed. They have swapped kits around, but the action has still stayed the same. As Christensen will clear that one away. Here's Rafinha. Koundé. Ball's cleared. It's De Jong. Back to Pedri. Pedri down the line to Jordi Alba. Alba has men in the middle if he can find them. Jordi Alba looking to roll it across the box. Koundé
once again, Bahrain is the one that proposed the game, is the one that goes to attack. It has a very, very strong attack energy.
Yeah, it's almost having to beat the press. It's to beat the attacking press as De Jong goes in. Big opportunity there. You can see the hands flailing from Robert Lewandowski, but the ball is cleared out. And again, an opportunity there. I mean, it's a little bit wasteful, especially when you know what's at stake.
Yes, and when you know what will happen. Everybody was looking and everybody was saying, that ball is going out of bounds.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of what we're looking at here, again, although we are in Barcelona v Barcelona, it is still as intriguing as you may find. Here's Lewandowski to Rafinha. Nice little roll away. Nothing was given for that. And I could have sworn that was a foul, but as we said before, referees are an interesting bunch within eFootball.
Of course. And you cannot curse at them here.
No, certainly not. Certainly not. We have a lot of people working to ensure these games happen in the right fashion. There's Gerard Piqué looking to just get it away from danger. Is Koundé into Lewandowski. Good little give and go there.
Bahrain changes gears when they cross the midfield.
Yeah, it's almost like a light switch goes on the minute they get across that midfield line. Here's Pedri. Ferran Torres, nice little back heel. De Jong, it's cleared away, but
see,
still in danger though.
It's like He's not
back heel,
concentrate.
Cross into the box, punched away. And yeah, you are quite right. It's almost like they get the ball and then they're panicked that they've got the ball, but a little bit of kind of confidence that might just come out of the way here. But it's too far forward. I think maybe Bahrain are already having players drop back, so ultimately you've got to maybe play into feet. Maybe here is Lewandowski,
and on the other hand, all the passing in the Bahrain is
chances on here. Good save. Sorry to cut through you.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect because the game called for it. I mean, the passing on the Bahrain team is like a clockwork. Everything works.
Yeah. We talked about yesterday. We were talking about like it's almost like a metronome. It just goes back and forth and back and forth. As you see the ball go into the box again. Sergio Busquets was the intended receiver. It's been cleared away. Here is Pedri to Koundé, back to Pedri. Good option here, potentially. Good challenge there for Frenkie de Jong. Another corner, but again, early signs are pointing all in the direction of Bahrain here. Corner on again.
In the champagne shirt, it's Bahrain. In the regular, darker Barcelona shirt,
it's Lewandowski.
Tajikistan.
It is, and again, it is all Bahrain. It's all champagne highlights at the moment.
Yes, that's true. Tajikistan can't get inside the match. He's playing worse than the match before, I say.
Yeah, it's just almost like the pressure has maybe got to him a little bit here. Is Jordi Alba into Ferran Torres. Frenkie de Jong gets it clear. Can the pressure be shook off here? Here is Pedri. It's the right option, just far too late. Close down. If you go into feet, you might get a bit more joy.
If you could see Wesa's hand, you would see him tapping on the monitor and almost like shouting to the players, pass it here, my friend.
Great pass in. It's Lewandowski! And as you can hear it probably behind us, Bahrain take the lead. 4-1 on aggregate. Could potentially be a tournament-defining performance for Bahrain.
Yeah, I think he knows how important that goal was. There is a saying, as we were talking about sayings in Spanish, el que hace el gol gana. The one who makes the goal, the one who wins the match.
Yep.
And I think that it may be that kind of goal.
Absolutely, as Ferran Torres is in again here. Torres takes the speed. Great save, Lewandowski!
And once again, he comes out of the dig. At the play just after the goal comes the equalizer.
Well, no, that was 2-0.
It's amazing.
You've 2-0. You've mistook that, but I take the point. It's just fired in, and I'll tell you something, he might be down here with us soon enough. The amount he's jumping, he might be down here with us. Wonderful bit of play, though. And again, it was that little speed boost. Again, we'll see that in the highlights. Again, it's these small little plays, and it's the minor details that you look for when you're playing eFootball. If you take just the right speed boost, just at the right time, you can just nudge it out of your feet. And again, force the save. Of course, Lewandowski there to tap it home.
5-1 is the overall score. I think we have.
It is indeed.
Close result.
It is. Well, I don't necessarily think it's over just yet, but all points are pointing to Bahrain right now. As we can see, Rafinha to Koundé. Koundé looking into the box, cleared away. There's Pedri. Robert Lewandowski has runners in support. One of them's Torres. The other one is Rafinha. Just can't find the pass. And it is through to Frenkie de Jong. Ferran Torres. Attack wave coming back the other way. It's Ferran Torres once more. Oh, it's at the post. Ferran Torres with a golden opportunity there to really wrap this game up. The ball is not cleared, though, from a Tajikistan point of view. It's Torres at the back post. It's cleared away.
It seems like Tajikistan players are tired. Like if they went for a day at the beach.
I think if you look at it, and I know we talk about, as we said, the intangibles. I think he's rattled. I think he's rattled by Bahrain's energy. Yeah, it is. It's almost an aura.
So like that's another dimension of the game.
Absolutely.
What happens outside the controller?
Absolutely.
In the analog world.
Yeah, it's an intangible from the person who's on the sticks. It is one thing being skillful here. It's also knowing when to celebrate. It's knowing what to do and how to do it. There are some people that like to completely just disrupt their opponent by not doing anything. We saw that with Korea, where we just didn't see any celebration whatsoever. And the polar opposite today, we're seeing Bahrain literally jumping for joy with the fact that the goals are going in. But
and
again,
I think it gives you some pressure also, you know?
Yes, yeah. Letting out some emotion, lets out the tension, lets the adrenaline go. And again, you can sometimes you can even forget to breathe when you're playing. It almost becomes automatic where you go, okay, I've forgotten to breathe, because you're so much in tension. You go, I've forgotten to breathe, and then when you let a breath out, it's tension. So that type of celebration will let out all of the tension, because he knows how important that goal is. He knows how important all of those goals have been, and he knows what it means to his country. All of that pressure will just come out. The minute you let it go, it's gone.
Sometimes it happened to me that I forgot to go to work because I was playing, but that's another kind of...
That's another kind of tension.
But it happened to me. It happened to me.
That's another kind of tension.
After some big tournaments with friends, all of us that enjoy this game have our stories, our tales, our historic tournaments with friends, you know?
Interesting.
In this kind of game that we always remember. But in this case, it's not about my friends, it's about Bahrain and Tajikistan. It's 5-1 at this moment. And what are we looking at?
So what we're just looking at there, Tajikistan, changing play style, it's something we haven't really spoken about because, again, in this type of screen, you can't really see what styles of play that people are playing with until they click onto that screen. Interestingly, playing long ball counter as Tajikistan, it's not working. So you've got to change it. If you go out wide, it means you're going to start to try and put the ball out wide. What that does from an AI standpoint is your attackers will then start to head for the box immediately. Once that ball goes wide, your attackers will suddenly go, wait a minute, we're playing out wide. That out wide's the play style, we need to get into the box. So maybe that is the tactic that they need, because at the moment, it's just there, it's just done. It's almost completely finished, and they need to do something here. We've seen a lot of goals going in one half of eFootball. I'm not saying that we won't see it. It's improbable, but it's not impossible. If they can get one very early, and again, they need to just disrupt. They need to disrupt what is going on. Even if it's the case of the physical nature of what Bahrain are doing, i.e. the celebrations. I'm obviously not saying to them, please get up and start fighting each other. But I mean, as in, like, if you score, you need to put a seed of doubt in them.
Yes.
Because at the moment, as you said, there's that almost aura around Bahrain. I can feel it without even looking at the representative. There is an aura of every time something positive happens, it just reinforces that belief that they have.
Also, when I see like players with an age playing against younger players and they can beat them, there is also this component, this thing like, I'm still here. I can do it. I can do it. You know.
Yeah. Hold that thought, young man.
That's it.
Yeah. It's like we say, it's a pride thing. It's a. Do you know what? Just because I'm of a certain age, just because I myself am 32. To let you in on it, but in terms of that, I could still.
I'm younger, so I can relate.
You can work that out for yourself. But you can look at it and go, yeah, right, you might be younger than me, but I've still got this. I've been doing this for a while. Like I've been playing this for a while. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm capable of. And maybe that's what we are seeing with Bahrain.
Yeah, it may happen. Of course, there is like a lot of components of why people get so happy or so vocal and why not. It's because of personality. It's because of the situation. It's because of what happened perhaps in a match earlier, in what happened in a tournament earlier. Perhaps we're looking at a player that get until this stage at a tournament before, and you can never get past the group stage.
Don't worry, I'll give you the English saying for it. It's you are always the bridesmaid, but you're never the bride.
That's it.
That is exactly what we are sometimes seeing with players. They are, as we say, they are animated. They are literally ready to just explode because they know, okay, this is the first time I'm going to get past this stage. Or even in this type of scenario, because it is the World Esports Championships, you know the merit that comes with getting to an elimination stage and doing playing your best game and playing your best shots. that's what they know here. They know that this will be able to be, you know, they know that from a player standpoint, they will know how important it is.
So we are back again with the match. This is the second half. It's 2-0 for Bahrain.
Gavi puts a long ball out wide here. This is this out wide tactic we were talking about. Here's Sergi Roberto. Goes back, but because he's almost emptied out the midfield a little bit and the tactic has changed, that pass is no longer on, and instead Bahrain have a way in here. It's Rafinha. He has players in the box if he can find them. Instead, he's conservatively played it back. A smart decision there. Kunde recycles the ball to Frank Kessie. Here's Frenkie de Jong. Again, just waiting it out a little bit and trying to keep the ball. Beautiful little passing move there. It's in towards Ferran Torres. That is superb football. That is superb football.
But it's just a kiss in the shirt. It's just a kiss in the mouth. It's no more jumping, no more.
Well, if you saw, he pointed to his head as if to say, "I'm calm. I know what I'm doing."
I thought he was saying, "This is for the bold man." No.
No, but in terms of the control that they're excelling now. Beautiful strike just out of the way, but the one-touch passing, which we will see just then, we will see it, and again, we'll see it in the highlights. It's the clinical nature of it. It's how clean, as you said before. There's no blemishes. There's no mistakes. It's all gameplay. There was a dummy in the box just to open up the shot. It's brilliant play from him.
So Tajikistan is like, if they didn't come to play this match, we haven't seen absolutely nothing in this match from the Taji side. Bahrain keeps attacking, keeps trying. They want more goals.
Yeah, they certainly do. They're looking to hunt for it. But Tajikistan are not without their threat. It's seemingly been nullified by the defensive defensive aspect of Bahrain. Once the ball, as we say, gets to that kind of final third or that final quarter of the pitch, it doesn't really go too much further than that.
But I think he's also wrestling with his own game, his own kind of game. He doesn't have like I think the clarity that he had on the first game. He's more like looking what
it's almost chaotic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a plan B. It's more of a plan A.5.
Do what you can.
Yeah, as you can see here, ball coming forward here. Again, it's relatively in control now for Bahrain, and again, you know, your mind will probably cast forward a little bit to how important this result is.
These tippy-tappy passes.
Loves the tippy-tappy passes, does Fedita, but doesn't really come to pass this time. It's Memphis Depay to Kunde, back to Memphis Depay. Depay into Gavi. Lewandowski, that one-touch passing now happening. Sergi Roberto, Ansu Fati looking for Depay, and there was a bad touch there. Could have been, if we were just a bit quicker on reactions, that would have caused some problems as Robert Lewandowski goes forward again. It is the man from Poland. Oh, it's a big save. Big save.
Big save, because we were all expecting the crossing and it went for the shot.
Yeah, again, that's exactly. You have players over, you can either cross it or you can pass it across and try and cut it back. Instead, goes for the shot. It was a corner. I mean, you would expect to go for the shot. It's Robert Lewandowski. It's Robert Lewandowski as the corner goes out wide. Here is Frenkie de Jong towards Kounde. There's Arujo, and you can see there at the bottom of your screen there, just gone one defensive on the attacking bias. Basically means, do you know what? I've done my job.
That's it.
That's normally what defensive normally means in kind of speak. It's either I'm trying to just keep hold of what I've got, or I've done my job, which I think in this instance, Bahrain certainly have done to absolute aplomb.
So we are in the second match. The overall score is 6 for Bahrain, 1 for Tajikistan.
You see ball going forward there, but not a lot left in the tank. There's only 10 in-game minutes to go. As we say, it ticks by very quickly, these games.
I think that the Tajikistan in this second game has 0 shots.
Well, it'd be interesting to see the stats after the game. It certainly will.
No more than 1, for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember the keeper being troubled. As you see the ball just bouncing off of Jordi Alba. It does go out for a Bahrain throw.
Let's see.
In terms of you saw the stats there. I mean, you only had to see the possession stat. It's at this point in the game, Bahrain have got 67% possession.
Yeah.
So again, possession is king. And as we've said before, it's the quality of possession. I have seen plenty of possession players lose games because they don't go and score. So the issue is that if you're not having a good quality of that possession, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
whereas Bahrain here have been expert in terms of their use and their application of that possession.
And we saw that possession without any dribbling, so that means a lot of passes.
Just lots and lots of passes. We can see there's a card that's been produced there. We'll check what colour it was. The animation just cut it off. There's a booking for Memphis Depay, but I think it's all but academic from here.
Yeah, it's yellow.
It looks like it's all pretty much in the books here for Bahrain. Again, credit to Tajikistan for making it a game in the first game, but the second game, you can just feel it's just been a bit too much in terms of the effect that Bahrain have had. Beautiful ball across the way. And he's cleared away once more, so just heading into stoppage time.
With the next day newspaper, this seems like an obvious result. On the first match, things were, I think, a little bit more balanced, but in this second match, there is no doubt the level of Bahrain will give him the victory, and victory it is. So an overall marker of 6 for Bahrain, 1 for Tajikistan. They're greeting each other, they're clapping. Great match by the man of the Bahrain kingdom.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what I would normally say as a caster and as a player, or even as an advisor to players, it's all well and good having your game plan, but going out and executing it under pressure is where champions are made. Now, I'm not going to suggest that Bahrain are potentially going to be champions of this tournament, but certainly that is a championship type of performance, as in, I know I've got to go out and win. I know I've got to go out and win convincingly. I'm going to go and execute. I've done my job. And a fantastic performance from Bahrain.
And speaking of your job, this make us tie 1-1.
It's an equalizer, folks. It's an equalizer.
Yeah. You had this one, Wes. I must say, I always recognize it. I'm eager to see the highlights of this game because this was a very battled match. It was a very interesting match. So I want to see in the highlights if what we thought that it was a near match in the first one was that balanced, or were we thinking it was balanced and it wasn't?
Yeah,
this was the first goal.
It was the first goal. It was something that was pretty much of an error, realistically, but that was a fantastic finish from Tajikistan. And we thought at that point, we're going to have a bit more of a game on our hands. Instead, inside the first half, this touch there, it was that little dummy that just took it away from the defender and just managed to find the back of the net. Again, we talk about these second chance goals. We talk about parries out from goalkeepers. That right there, you've got to make sure your player is arriving at the end of it. And you see there again, dummies. They are almost worth their weight in gold when you're inside the box, because again, it will force an animation from a defender who will make a step in the wrong direction. If you can execute it correctly, as we saw expertly done by Bahrain, especially for that third goal, you will have so much more joy in the box. And that's one of those little tips, if you're talking about gameplay tips and things to learn at home, throwing a dummy at the right moment can just destroy a defense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And, you know, are you counting on Bahrain on your short list of candidates for this tournament? I surely am.
Yeah, I think they're in that kind of dark horse category for me. I think you've got the list of contenders and candidates, and then you've got these are surprise people that might just catch it out, and that's what we're here for. We said that at the very, very top of the show of the first day. We want some shocks, and that's what I think we're going to start to see as we go forward.
And we have more matches from you coming up next. We are here live from Bali, Indonesia. Mr. Wetza from the UK. I'm from Argentina. We are sharing this beautiful game with all of you all around the world, and I think
we'll be right back. I think that's what we'll do.
We'll
be right back.
A little break, just like you.